Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Oh, good morning. It's still morning. I'm sorry. Wearing a different hat today. I'm wearing a different hat. Back to some coaching, amen, to some life coaching, some sound mind coaching. And so there are some changes, glory be to God. There's going to be some changes. There is a new private page, a private group page called It's Just a Moment. It's just a moment. Whatever we're going through in life, it is really just a moment. Glory be to God. Turn this other phone down here. It's really just a moment. Okay. Now that moment could be a couple of minutes. That moment could be an hour. That moment could be a week. It could be a month. It could be several months. It could be a couple of years. But it's still just a moment. What I mean by that is that it doesn't consume your whole entire life. Your whole entire life is not based on one particular moment. However, in many individuals' lives, that one moment can alter, Jesus, that one moment can alter one's entire life if we allow it to, and if we don't get the proper help and assistance. Okay. So how to handle, I didn't even put it in here. Let me create a quick banner here so I can have it scroll across the screen. That's not the keyboard I want. Okay. How to handle crisis moments. Because let's be honest, do we all know how to handle them when we're in them? Most likely we don't. Most likely we go off of, hey, Sister Lisa. Most likely we are, the crisis that we're in is really fueled a lot of times by our emotions. What is our emotional state at the time of the crisis that we're in? And if we don't think clearly and really step back, yes, okay, try not to preach here, but to step back briefly and let's examine what's really going on around me, what's happening to me. So crisis moments can be emotionally and mentally challenging. It is essential to know how to handle the situation effectively. Okay, effectively. How do I handle this effectively? Whether it is a personal crisis, such as an illness, a loss, or a relationship problem. How do I handle my personal crisis? Now you can answer that yourself, but truly, how do you handle crisis like this when they hit you? Are you level-headed? Those are the things. Those are the things. When it seems like your whole life has just been flipped upside down, how do you handle those crises? It can also be a crisis that affects a larger group or organization. Okay, and I'm going to give you some strategies to navigate crisis moments. Hey, Evangelist. How to handle crisis moments. And even when it comes to a larger scale, honestly and truly, when we enter into a crisis, we're thinking about me, myself, and I. Okay, that's what we're doing, me, myself, and I. And we're not really conscious of who it all will affect afterwards. And because we're so caught up in ourselves, we really don't care about the trickle-down effect that's going to have on our families, churches, glory be to God, and everything else. So the first point I want to give you is stay calm and focus. Stay calm and focus. These are some short nuggets. And I want to let you know that if there's any particular subject or anything that you want me to discuss, I will do that. I will do the research and do that. I got another one. How to break the control of manipulation. When you got people around you that tries to manipulate you. I'm going to do that one this week as well. So stay calm. Number one, stay calm and focus. So in moments of crisis, it's crucial to keep your composure. I need you to keep your composure. I need to keep my composure and focus on the task at hand. Okay. Things happen. Things happen that is out of our control. Things happen that can be in our control. But no matter which way it is, we have to keep our composure. Okay. And I'm trying not to keep this on the spiritual, but spiritual as believers, we really got to keep our composure. And we really got to stay focused. We have to take a few deep breaths. That's one of the major things I do with my kids. Anybody who has anger issues, if you take 10 deep breaths, breathe in and exhale, because they fists be balled up, like, because they're angry. They're on the borderline. They're angry, but it could be on the borderline of rage. When his rage is destructive, that person is no longer angry. Okay. Being angry is not a sin. It is an emotion. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. Okay. So I can be angry, but if I pick up a chair and bust you upside the head, that's rage. Now we're talking about physical harm. Okay. So we need to take some deep breaths. And we don't like for people to tell us to calm down. We don't like for people to tell us to calm down, because we're in this state where now my focus has been shifted to whatever's going on. And a lot of times we can be so out of touch with our emotional state at that present being. Even the people that care for us the most, we could possibly cause harm to them or be very rude and disrespectful to them. And the only thing they're trying to do is help us. So we have to remind ourselves that you can control your emotions. People, you can control your emotions. Nobody can make you do anything. I don't care how bad they suggest it. I don't care how bad they try to tempt you, provoke you, poke the bear, whatever. Nobody can make you do anything, because you are in control of you. You have your own will to decide what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. I have a lot of examples, with the kids I work with. Well, Mr. Fullwood, he told me to get up on top of the cubby. I said, well, how is that? Does he control your legs when you're walking? No. Does he control your arms? No. So he didn't do it. You just decided to do what this individual said for you to do. So we can't shift the blame. So teaching accountability. So when it comes to emotions, that's why I don't ever say, and I do my best. I'm not perfect. I do my best to say, and especially so-and-so makes me sick. Oh no, not out of this mouth. Because I'm putting something out there in the atmosphere, giving credit to someone, rendering my own authority of myself, and me allowing someone else to irritate my peace, to irritate my peace, my constant peace, my steady peace, my perfect peace, because I allowed them to bait me. And I caused them to rattle where I'm at, my contentment. So I make sure I do my best. So-and-so makes me sick. No, they don't. No. When I get irritated because of a conversation or whatever, it's not their fault, it's mine. Because I allowed them to. I could have cut off the situation. If it was ongoing, I could have just disconnected, stopped doing whatever to end that conversation, to not allow them to take me to a place that I probably have not been in some time. Okay, so let's not blame other people when we are in control of our emotions, okay? And resist the urge to panic. Resist the urge to panic. But a lot of people get overwhelmed so easily, they can't, and it's in, I want to be nice about this and real about this thing. A lot of times, a lot of people can't handle a whole lot of things coming at them at one time. Some people are good at it. Everybody's not good at that thing. It can be some simple things and still it can overwhelm them. Some people are just one thing at a time, which is fine. You know how you operate. Many of us can, and understand this, even we can never say we're good multitaskers. No, we might be able to do a couple of things at one time, but when you're doing a couple of things at one time doesn't mean that they're getting 100% of that thing that we're multitasking. Okay. So we got to make sure that we resist the urge to panic. And how can we do that? We have to stay calm and focused. We have to withdraw back briefly. We just step back and analyze what's happening. Hey, Nazarene, we have to step back and analyze what's happening? What is this situation about? How important is it to me of what's happening around me? How important is it? Panic can lead to irrational decisions and make the situation worse. It can make it worse. I have a coworker on my job, and they get on the radio. It's a 911. Hurry up. We all running. Now, because I know it's an exaggeration, I don't run no more. But to them, they panic, which causes all of us to panic. But now that I know how they operate, I may speed up my walk. But I ain't trying to run and bend corners like I'm running indoor track inside the high school back in the day. I'm not doing that. So we got to remember, when we panic, we are not making rational decisions, okay? Number 2, assess the situation. This is what I just said. Assess the situation, okay? Take a moment to assess the crisis. Evaluate its severity. Evaluate the scope and potential consequences. Gather relevant information and data to help you make informed decisions. Because a lot of times we respond to what we hear without any information or very little information. And then is that information we see, is it the fullness of what it is, and how much of it is factual? Matter of fact, you can even observe how are they telling you the information, because they could be irrational. So don't put a whole lot of weight into it, because they're all emotional now. So we have to evaluate the severity, the scope, and the potential consequences, okay? Gather relevant information and data to help you make informed decisions. Avoid jumping to conclusions or assuming the worst. I can't assume the worst. As a child of God, come on, it's those of us that are disciples of Christ, a child of God, we're supposed to operate by faith. So even when situations seem like, I get being careful. I get all these things. However, I'm not going to assume, because I still have to assess what's happening. And I'm not going to jump to the worst. I can hear the worst, right? I can hear the worst, what may be worse to me, but I don't have to respond to it, because I can still take what I heard and then start to pray. Okay? But I'm not going to assume the worst as if that is the only possible solution there can be. No, I'm not going to do that. Number 3, develop a plan. Develop a plan. Once you have assessed the situation, develop a plan to address it. And I'm going to give you some considerations to do. Identify the crisis trigger and any underlying factors. What triggered you? What part triggered you? in this moment of crisis? What were the underlying factors? Determine the immediate steps needed to stabilize the situation. Now, I know you might be thinking, this is a lot, Andre. This is you giving us a lot here. But we have to go back to number one. We have to stay calm and focused. When we are calm and focused, that's why it's number one. When we are calm and focused, we're able to what? Number two, assess the situation. Number three, we're able to develop a plan. But we can't do two or three or the rest of the four I'm going to give you if we can't stay calm and focused. It's not going to happen. So determine the immediate steps needed to stabilize it. Okay, now what do I need to do to stabilize this situation? Hey, Apostle Patricia. The other part of developing a plan, determine the long-term actions required to prevent future crisis. Okay, I got into this crisis. Why did I get into this? What brought me to this moment of my life? Why am I here? Or better yet, why am I here again? For the second time, third time, sixth time, it don't matter. Why am I here again? So now we have to do some self-evaluation. What am I doing wrong? So now we need to implement some long-term actions to help prevent me going through this, to help you prevent going through this again. And you may need help with this. You may need to consult somebody. You know, I'm available. Talk to me. Anyway, if I can't help you, I know other people that can. The other part of how to develop a plan is assign responsibilities, is what I just said, and tasks to team members or stakeholders. People that you know that you trust. And I know it's hard to trust people nowadays. But people that you trust, okay? And assign them responsibilities. If not anything else, hey, Sharon, I'm sorry, hey, Sharon. Assign them responsibilities, if not anything else, to help hold you accountable. That before you go make some decision, because you can't calm down, you might need to reach out to one of them, explain to them the situation so they can get you to not jump off the irrational emotional ledge. The last part of how to develop a plan is determine the resources and support needed to execute the plan. So we're going from, we got to identify the trigger, the crisis trigger, and whatever factors that lay up underneath it. Now we got to develop steps that are needed to stabilize this situation. We got to bring it to a calm. We got to bring peace to this crisis. And then we got to talk about some long-term actions required to prevent this from happening again. Then we need to assess some responsibilities, some people that you know that can hold you accountable. This is funny here, but the ministry is about to gather together in a couple of months, and two of my buddies, my brothers, they love the Waffle House. It's okay. It's okay. So I just was told today that I've been overruled and that I'm going to eat at the Waffle House. Isn't that a wonderful support team? To eat that stuff. But anyway, number 4, communicate clearly and concisely. It is hard for us to communicate concisely and clearly if we're having an EBM. I got to get a shirt. I got to get a shirt made for that. What is an EBM, Andre? It is an emotional bowel movement. You know, when your bowel's acting up, you just got to go. You got to go. That's how it is with our emotions if we don't keep them in check. They're all over the place. Running all over the place. So we're not going to be able to communicate clearly or effectively, and most importantly, concisely. Because now I got to decipher you're talking irrationally here. And so my first thought is I got to try to get you to calm down. I try to get you to breathe. And then what we need to do, if those that are reaching out to us, is that we need to be able to be a good listener. And I heard Bishop T.D. Jakes say back in the 90s that listening is a ministry. Everybody does not know how to listen, believe it or not. They hear, but they don't know how to listen. So you need people that know how to listen and have the discernment to discern not only what you're saying, but what's not being said, because a lot of times we can't articulate what we want to say. Sometimes we don't do that, concisely. Okay. So clear and concise communication is essential during a crisis. Keep your stakeholders informed, or people, your close circle, keep them informed and regularly update them about the situations and progresses. Hey, Prophet Fred, use plain language and avoid jargon or technical terms that may be confusing. Listen. Here we go. Listen to others. Listen to others and be open to their feedback and suggestions. This might be very hard because you're already all over the place. A whole lot of stuff is going on the inside of you. Even your physical body is having different types of effects because you're not calm. You're not at peace. So we need to be able to listen to others and be open, even if you don't like it, even if your toes curl inside your shoes because you ain't liking what you're hearing, but it really could be good for you. It's just, we got to bring you back. We got to bring you back to a place where you can receive. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Where you can receive from those that you're talking to. Because a lot of times we don't ask the question, well, what did you do? I'm hearing what they did. I'm hearing what you tell me about what they did, but what did you do? I ain't do anything. Okay. All right. Number 5, let's take action. We got to take action now. So once you have developed your plan, we got to work the plan. We got to implement it. We got to take decisive steps to address the crisis and implement the necessary solutions. We got to be proactive and act quickly to mitigate any potential harm or loss. No time to waste. We got to be about it. We got to seek guidance from experts or professionals if required. Whatever you need to do, but you got to do it. So that's why we need accountability partners. We need people that we can go to who has the wisdom. We don't need people that's going to pacify us and baby us. No, we don't need them. We need people that's going to make us answer the question that's being asked, not go around it. We need people that's going to talk to us in a way where I don't even like what you're saying, but I'm swallowing it like castor oil. Because I know it's good for me. My flesh may not like it, but I know the intent of the individual that's talking to me so I can receive it, even though it may be bitter to the taste. Number 6, we got to monitor and adapt. During crisis response, monitor the situation closely and be prepared to adapt if necessary. We got to stop being so stubborn and hard-headed that we're not willing to make adjustments and even compromise at some things. We have to. Okay? We got to be able to adapt. How else can you have a successful plan developed? You done developed this plan. You done took the time. You done got the people involved that you needed. Now it's time to implement it. But you're going to have to make some adaptations. Be open to feedback. Here we go. We have to constantly be open to feedback and learn from our experiences. Because if we don't learn from our experiences, it goes back to what can we do to prevent this crisis from happening again? So if we don't learn from the experiences, then we're going to be on this cycle over and over again, like a gerbil. on a wheel, just spinning and spinning and spinning. Hey, man of God. Be flexible in your approach and ready to change as needed. You have to be flexible. You got to be flexible. Moldable. Pliable to what's going on. And you don't have to be upset about it. You don't have to adjust on the fly. Especially when you know it's for your good. Adjust. It may not be according to your plan in the way you thought it should go. But that's why it's good to write in pencil. Because you can erase, go back, make some changes. Always. We always have to be ready to be flexible. And number 7, and I've said this throughout a lot of these points, we got to seek support. Crisis moments can be overwhelming, y'all. They can be very overwhelming. And we have to be careful. Hear me clear. We have to be careful not to belittle somebody on how they're handling a crisis because you would have handled it differently, or it may not affect you the way it's affecting them. You're two different people. So we have to make sure we don't become judgmental or belittle them or think less of them. Why are you letting this bother you? Well, if for some reason it is. So we need to help them find out instead of making them feel like they're not worthy. Because there are things that trigger us that may not trigger other people. So we have to be mindful of that. Be mindful of people that are overwhelming, and it is our job. That's what we need. What I call, what I've learned is divine endurance. Divine endurance is nothing but divine patience. We have to have divine endurance when people are coming to us and they're overwhelmed. Even then, we have to make sure that our words are seasoned with grace and patience, and be tenderhearted and be kindhearted and gentle. Because we need to bring them back down so that they can receive, and we can fully, so that they can speak to us clearly and concisely. Okay? And so we need to let them know, hey, seeking support is okay. And I understand a lot of us like to be private. I understand that if you tell your business, then you have no business. But there are some things, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to have someone that we can rely on that has our best interests at hand. They are intentional people. So that even, don't speak in tongues on this one, even if the relationship falls apart, their integrity about what they know of you will remain intact. So talk to trusted friends, talk to trusted family members that can keep it between you and they're going to keep it between the conversation between the two of you, and not as soon as they get the information, go tell other family members. Okay? Or colleagues who can offer a listening ear and provide emotional support. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we all need emotional support from time to time. And if by chance you need to seek something further, then you go ahead and start seeking professional help, or a therapist or a counselor. They all work. I have a spiritual one and I got a natural one. They work. Because if you find yourself in these repeated crises, ladies and gentlemen, I would hope at some point you would want to get to the root of why am I keep going through this? I don't want to be the gerbil on the wheel anymore. So what am I doing? So remember, crises can be challenging, but you can navigate them successfully with careful planning, effective communication, and with resilience. Okay, got to have resilience in this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna just do a quick recap and we're out of here. I'm done taking advantage of my free off day of work. So what we're gonna do on how to handle a crisis moment is, number one, we're gonna stay calm and focus. 2, we're going to assess the situation. 3, we're going to develop a plan. 4, we're going to communicate clearly and concisely. Number 5, we're going to take action. Number 6, we're going to monitor and adapt. And number 7, we're going to seek support. And if any of you want my notes from this little quick lesson, contact me. Just send me your email address, and I'll ship it over there to you. Okay, and I'll probably post this on my page as well. So this is it. This is Andre Fullwood, Coach Dre, Certified Master Mindset Coach, and there's more stuff coming. There are more things coming your way, so stay tuned. Okay, if you click the notification, Sound Mind is really changing to my brother Ron. Sound Mind is changing to It's Just a Moment. So you're going to see a new overlay. You're going to see some whole new stuff. And if you go to the new group page, It's Just a Moment. Go ahead and sign up, and I'll let you in. And I'm going to share this in that page as well. So, all right, everybody have a wonderful and blessed Wednesday afternoon. I love you guys. Remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't waste yours. All right, talk to you guys later.